they've already said some of the differences, the similarities and differences. I think there were more similarities than differences. I think where maybe some of our young people were challenged more physically, I think they might have also been challenged more spiritually, because sitting down, we had every time we sat down to dinner, we would ask. We had groups. Everyone was broken up into a group, and one group would lead the spiritual or social component. One group would lead the cooking, one group would lead the cleaning, and one group would do the shopping every night, since we were camping every night. And the social/spiritual group was in charge of leading the prayers. And it was always one of the Americans that led the prayers, because it didn't appear that the Germans, they might sit together and eat dinner. And I'm not saying that they don't know how to pray, but they seem to learn more from our young people as it related to their spirituality. And our young people might have learned more about the physical, being more active. So I think that was one of the maybe differences, that ours were more in tune and looking for where God was in their experiences and praying about those experiences. And again, some of the others were more into the physical aspect of it. So.
Yes. Also from the religious standpoint, a lot of the kids, a lot of the German kids that I had a conversation with, whether it be the ones that were with us or the friends of the people that I knew because of whatever activity that we did, they didn't have the most positive feedback of their church. They said that they just weren't excited in church, or that church service didn't appeal to them as much as it may do for me or for others here. So I think from a spiritual standpoint, it wasn't as lively as it could have been, but at the same time, I believe that they still are, they still are comfortable with their faith, and I think it helped. And I think us being around them, us being around each other, it was like an interesting two worlds to look at.
Yeah, I remember the first night that we were biking, so it might have been a few days after we actually got to Germany. And I remember we were sitting around after dinner, and I talked to one of the German youth, Vincent, and I showed him a YouTube video of Trinity. And they panned to the choir, and he didn't know it was a choir. He was like, wow, everyone's so lively and into it. I'm like, dude, that's just our choir. He's like, are you serious? Everyone looks like to be enjoying themselves, and the music is so good. It's like, yeah, it's like here, we don't really have a choir. It's very straightforward. It's very rigid, and he just seemed like amazed at what Trinity had to offer. And from, as everyone else said, from what I picked up, they might go to church a couple times a year. Like they really, they don't go as regularly as we do. They, one person said they only go for like big holidays and that kind of stuff. And, so they're not as active in their church, but they still have a connection with God, and I found that pretty interesting.